So this is very exciting, huh? You probably were not expecting to see a video from me ever again, but you know, here I am in the flesh, or at least on the screen, so that's a good start. Anyways, welcome back to my channel. I know that I promised to make more videos a while ago. I just never got around to it. I was always so busy with school and work and just overall being really stressed all the time, so that's good. Today I am here to film my top 5 favorite music albums, and I am a big lover of music. I talk about it all the time with my friends and my family, trying to get them to listen to more music. And I feel like I have a diverse music taste. I like rap and punk rock and punk pop and female artists and just like a little bit of each category. Except for country. I can't stand country. Just had to get that out there. If you are here for the country music content, you might as well leave because it's not here. So I'm gonna be counting down from my 5th favorite to my top favorite. So without further ado, let's just get started. Yeah. So my 5th favorite is Back from the Edge by James Arthur. And if you don't know who James Arthur is, he was a competitor on, what was he on? I think he was on Britain's Got Talent, pretty sure. But he gained a lot of stardom from that, and he also had that popular song Say You Won't Let Go that got stuck in everyone's head for at least 3 months. At least it got stuck in my head a lot. To me, his voice is just so soothing. I love listening to his voice while I'm doing homework, taking a shower, cooking, cleaning. It's just good music to keep me occupied, if that makes any sort of sense. I also like how on Back from the Edge it had a mix of like upbeat, like happy songs, and then like some slower, like sadder, more emotional songs. And I like artists that have a lot of diversity and can tackle like the upbeat and the like slower songs. I like Back from the Edge more than his self-titled, just because by the time I found out about James Arthur, I didn't know that he had another album. I thought it was just his debut album, so I never got around to listening to the other one. I pretty much know every single song off of Back from the Edge, but the 2 that I know the most and are my favorites are Sober and Finally. So my 4th favorite album is actually a Broadway soundtrack, and it is the School of Rock soundtrack written by Andrew Lloyd Webber. So The School of Rock was the first Broadway show that I ever saw. I saw it back in September of 2017, and I cried. I think I cried because I was just so overwhelmed by how amazing it was. You know, it was my first one, so I didn't know what to expect other than greatness, and that's what I got, greatness. So yeah, you know, the songs are really catchy and you get to know them really well. I listened to the entire soundtrack on Spotify as soon as I came home from the show, and I pretty much memorized them all in like a day, if not like a week. And my 2 favorite songs off of the soundtrack are You're in the Band and Stick It to the Man. My 3rd favorite album on this list is Aurora by B. Miller. So I found out about her when I was like 12 or 13 when she released that one song, Youngblood. I pretty much memorized all the words to it and just fell in love with B. Miller and have supported her ever since. I like all of the songs and I like how they revolve around like some sort of heartbreak or getting fucked over by a guy. In the one song Girlfriend, she talks about like not wanting to be with this guy but just like wants to mess around with her. I think that's really like funny. I don't know why I think it's funny. I don't know. In her one song, Sweet Little Unforgettable Thing, which also spells out slut, she talks about how she just wants to be her own person and just wants to like live her life. She's 19 years old and people are telling her how to live her life and do this and be that, and it's something that she doesn't want to be. And I think that she's like spreading a good message of being yourself and not letting other people like tear you down and tell you what to do. I think we need a lot of more artists that spread that positive message, let alone like any positive message about like caring for yourself and not caring about what other people say about you. And B. Miller does just that in her album Aurora. I also liked how she split it up into 3 chapters. I think that's what she called it. And in every single chapter there was like a theme. So chapter 1 was blue and it was like all like sad songs. A poster just fell in my room. I'll hang it up later, it's okay. Chapter 2 was red, I think it was. And it was like, like, I like to call them like angry songs. You know, songs that are just like very fiery and get straight to the point of what she's talking about. And then chapter 3 is yellow. And that's more like happier, like lovey songs, if not like being an independent woman. And then she released like 3 new songs on the album. And I just love how creative she is. She's a very independent woman and I respect her for that. And I have 3 favorite songs on this album. They are Bored, Outside, and Slut. My second favorite album is Wild World by Bastille. I found out about this album actually through my English class. We were reading a book called In Cold Blood. I can't remember what the name of the author is, but if I do, I'll put it across like right here. Anyway, my teacher played the song 4 Walls, which was inspired by In Cold Blood, and I just fell in love with it. I have heard about Bastille before when they released Pompeii, but I wasn't that big of a fan at the time. So after school that day, I went home, went onto Spotify, and listened to the entire album and immediately fell in love with it. Like, Dan Smith has an amazing voice, I'm not even gonna lie. This album came out almost 2 years ago and I am still loving it to this day. It's very like upbeat. I love upbeat albums to begin with. Like, I'm not really like a sad song person. There are a few sad songs on Wild World though, and all of the albums that are on this list, but I just like how they're really into like getting the crowd pumping and like make them really enjoy their music. They have a very different sound than a lot of the artists that I've heard in my lifetime. And I think I said it before about James Charles.
James Charles?
I said think I said it before about Back from the Edge, but it's really good cleaning music. How do I know that? Because
my cleaning done within the time, so.
And my 3 favorite songs on this album is Snakes, Send Them Off, and Way Beyond. And now, the final moment. This is what you've all been waiting for. My number 1 album is Don't Panic, It's Longer Now by All Time Low. I know, it's kind of a surprise, but hear me out. I went through a like punk pop / like rock emo phase in middle school, and All Time Low was like my top favorite band of all time, right next to like Pierce the Veil. They were like neck and neck for my top, and I found them through a friend at the time who was doing like this psychology project for science. I don't know why we were 13 and doing like psych projects in school. I never did them. I was a terrible student in middle school, but that's a different story for a different video. But she told me to listen to their music, get a feel for it, and write down how it made me feel, like emotionally, physically, mentally, and I really liked the music and the messages that they were sending. And I know every single song on this album. The first song I listened to was A Love Like War featuring Vic Fuentes, because my friend knew that I loved Pierce the Veil, like what I said about neck and neck, and she wrote that down on a piece of paper, told me to go home and listen to it, and I was just like hooked by then. It's crazy that I'm almost 18 years old and I'm still in love with an album that came out when I was probably like 11 or 12. It's crazy. And my top 2 favorite songs on here are The Reckless and The Brave, and If These Sheets Were the States. Alright, we're finally finished. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this wasn't a boring video to watch. And if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you would like to see more from me. I promise this time I will make more videos. Be sure to subscribe and turn on that little bell to get post notifications for whenever I make a video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and have a good rest of your night, or day, or
Afternoon, or morning, or sleep deprivation time, or anytime, so.
have a good one.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's catching up to me. Nobody's catching up to me. I'm like, can I get some company?